Hello, and my name's Elise Maynard, and on this episode of Crash Course, we're going to be discussing the Flint Water Crisis, which is sweeping the nation. This disaster is happening in Flint, Michigan, which happens to be about an hour away from the University of Michigan State. So, what is the Flint Water Crisis? What is the effects on the citizens of Flint? And most importantly, what is the chemistry behind this? All of this on this episode of Crash Course. Okay, so what is this Flint water crisis that is all over the news? To start off, it is important to note that cities can get their water from groundwater, surface water, lakes, and rivers. However, rivers need the greatest water treatment because they are naturally corrosive. So, back in 2014, Flint decided to switch their source of water from the Detroit River to the Flint River. Why? They wanted to save money. They'd be saving about $140 a day. The cost of chemicals to treat water is dramatically increasing. In 2009, the Water Research Foundations found that phosphoric acid, which inhibits corrosion, increased in price by 233% alone in 2008. Knowing that, they decided to switch water sources still. But usually when you switch water sources, it takes time to plan it all out. Usually about 2 to 4 years. You have to look at water quality and future water treatment options, but Flint didn't put much thought into this, and they did it quickly in about 10 months. A little bit after switching, reports of E. coli came out, and the city issues that you must boil your water before you use it. Not long after, GM stops using the water because it reportedly was corroding their steel pipes. Before you know it, the Department of Environmental Quality says that Flint water was violating national standards. 2 high levels of trihalomethanes, which are toxic byproducts of the chlorine disinfectants, are in the water. And the kids affected ranged from 2.4 to 4.9%, and in some areas, as much as 10% of people were infected. So, just to give you an idea of how quickly this water changed its quality, in December 2014, the pH of the Flint water was 8, and in August 2015, the pH was 7.3. As you can see, a 0.7 change in pH leads to an increase of 4.01 times 10 to the negative 8th hydronium ions in the water. The EPA had a regulatory limit set at 15 parts per billion of lead in the water, and in some areas there was as much as 900 times that limit. So this is scary. We're talking about water that you drink and use every single day of your life. So, to the most exciting part of this video is the chemistry behind the Flint water crisis. So before, the water contained orthophosphates in it from the Detroit River. And these orthophosphates lined the lead pipes, so when the water passed through it did so with no problem. However, when they changed the water to the Flint River, there was no corrosion control to prevent the lead from the pipes from entering the water. Naturally, the Flint River has 8 times more chloride in it than the Detroit River, and this is corrosive to metals. So immediately after the introduction of the new water, the water started to eat away at these pipes. You started to get discolored water that not only smelled odd, but tasted odd too. The iron pipes reacted with the chloride in the water that killed microorganisms, which made it impossible to act as a disinfectant. So immediately after the change in water, you're seeing bacteria levels spike dramatically. The corrosion control is usually from naturally mineral deposits, which I said was the orthophosphates that line these pipes, that protect them from exposure to oxidants. But because of the change in water quality, these deposits were dissolved, which allowed for the massive corrosion of the lead and iron pipes.
So, as you can see, before there were mineral deposits that lined the pipe. There was chloride in the water, and there's also the phosphate corrosion inhibitor as well. However, afterwards, after the water was changed, when you're looking at a lead pipe, the chloride ions eat away at the mineral deposits, and the oxidants break away the lead pipe, releasing lead ions. After the change in water, you look at an iron pipe, you see that the chloride ions eat away at the mineral deposits, and the oxidants eat away at the iron pipe and release iron ions. When you look at the iron corrosion, this is what caused the rust-colored water.
Now, this is so important because lead has detrimental effects when exposed to adults and children. Injury is permanent and lifelong, some doctors say, so even after you stop the problem, side effects will still occur for many years, and in some cases, the problems will never go away. Problems such as neurological damage, cardiovascular problems, infertility, decreased kidney function, and because no level of lead is safe, even after being exposed to small amounts over a long period of time, this can lead to brain damage. So those effects will have lower IQs, developmental delays, behavior problems, ADD, etc. So you can see that's why this is a big problem in children. They're going to need remedial educational programs, they're going to need educational enrichment programs, etc. And this is a huge issue, and currently there's no drug that reverses the effects of lead exposure. So, Flint originally did this to save money, but the problem they are facing with the corrosion of their lead and iron pipes will greatly surpass the amount of money they would have spent using the original Detroit River water. The estimated cost for removing all of the pipes, which is really the only permanent solution to ending the corrosion, is estimated at $1.5 billion. In conclusion, Flint made a critical cost-saving decision to change their water from the Detroit River to the Flint River. The Flint River is naturally high in chloride, which is very corrosive to metals. Immediately after the change, it started to dissolve the natural deposits of orthophosphates that line these pipes, preventing them from eroding away into the water. Without these inhibitors, the lead and iron from these pipes eroded away into the water, causing very detrimental effects to the citizens of Flint, Michigan. I'd like to thank you so much all for watching this crash course video about the Flint River Water Crisis.